Simon's face as he read the accusation on the top of that beam? Could you imagine what he is thinking as he hears the voices crying out, "Away with this man! Crucify him!" Only criminals were crucified. He's thinking, I'm bearing the cross of a criminal. And then the more that he hears, and he hears voices, and these voices are weeping. And they're crying because this man is being crucified and no fault was found in him. Could you imagine what then begins to cross the mind of this father by the name of Simon? Simon, the Cyrenian, as he's bearing the cross of Jesus down the Via Dolorosa, following in the very footsteps of Jesus Christ. There's blood that is then coming out of the body of Jesus and being left on the street. And as Simon is walking in the street, trying so much to stay out of the blood, but there's so much blood that is coming out of the body of Jesus that it's impossible for him to completely dodge the drops of blood and those stains that are being left behind. So he begins to walk. And as he's walking, he finds himself bearing this cross. This cross that he thinks is not mine. It's not mine. It belongs to him. It belongs to this man named Jesus. I'm following him though. Let me tell you what that points out. It points out to be ready to bear your cross. As Jesus said in Matthew's Gospel in chapter 16 and verse 24, he said, "If any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me." Dad, you want to talk about a cross of instruction? A cross of integrity? Begin to take up your cross and follow after Jesus Christ. Because that cross will be teaching your children valuable lessons and your grandchildren valuable lessons as they will someday begin to reflect upon your life. Let them be able to talk about how you lived your life for Christ. That's what it means. Are you willing to do that? Are you literally willing to do that and go after him? Deny yourself and take up your cross and follow him. Years ago, I read the story about two first graders coming out of their Sunday school classroom, and they were overheard talking about the Sunday school lesson. The Sunday school teacher had been instructing them about Jesus and had also told them about what it was if they didn't follow Jesus, that they would be living a life of sin. And that if they followed in a life of sin, they were going in the way of the devil. And so these two first graders were talking about this lesson. And as they were overheard, leaving the Sunday school classroom talking, the first student said, "Do you really believe all that stuff about the devil?" His friend looked at him, he said, "No." He said, "I think it's like Santa Claus. It's really your dad." You see, kids pay more attention to what you think, to what's being spoken to them. And even more than that, they pay very close attention to what's being lived out before them. They know if you're really taking up your cross and walking in the way of Jesus Christ or not. So as you can see, Simon taught his two sons, Alexander and Rufus, how to bear their cross. And only in Mark's Gospel are their names recorded very specifically, and I'm going to tell you why. Because you'll read about them later on in the book of Acts. They seen their father literally carrying the cross of Jesus behind Jesus. They seen it with their own eyes. They heard it with their own ears. Their father undoubtedly never forgot it. And it, again, undoubtedly became a huge part of his life and testimony, and his sons knew it. How could you touch the cross of Jesus and your life not be completely changed? Dads, if you have truly touched the cross of Jesus, how could your your life truly not be changed? Kids will know it. They know the difference. And not only do children know the difference, but other people know the difference too. In closing, dads, I want to ask you one question. Are you instructing with integrity? Is your cross today truly a cross of instruction and integrity? Or would your children or grandchildren be looking at you and be saying, yeah, I think they really love the Lord. I think they did. I think that they were that he was a good man and that he's in heaven now. Listen, don't let those be the words. I know that you might say, well, gee, that sounds pretty good. No, you want those words to be more like this. I know that they're in heaven. I know that they walk the way of Jesus. I know that this is the kind of life that he lived. Let those be the kind of words that will be spoken. I'm going to tell you, if your testimony's weak now, you need to shore it up. You need to shore it up and take up your cross. And if you're busy whining and crying because maybe life's not been dealing you a very fair hand, I want to encourage you. Don't let that beat you. Don't let that get the best of you. Shore up your testimony, take up your cross, and follow Jesus today. Heads bowed and eyes closed, no one looking around.